wait here for a little while. See what happens.
What's up guys, Mr. Bropo here, introducing a brand new series to the channel. It's an alteration on the typical action figure review you might be used to. Until I can think of a better name, I'll be calling this Behind the Figure, a look back at the history of what inspired a figure and how well and accurately said figure may or may not encapsulate it via accessories that capture the character or an iconic moment, articulation, and likeness to the character. This time we'll be taking a look at NECA'S RJ MacReady, based on Kurt Russell's character from the legendary 1982 sci-fi horror classic, The Thing. But first, let's dive into the source. Back in the mid-70s, John Carpenter, legendary filmmaker who helmed The Fog, Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China, Christine, and another little-known slasher franchise, with a couple films under his belt, was approached by Universal about directing a film based on the 1938 John W. Campbell novella Who Goes There? But at the time, it was original Texas Chainsaw Massacre director Tobe Hooper who the studio would end up going with. The studio wasn't satisfied with his vision, and after other failed attempts to get other directors on board, the project was put on hold for the foreseeable future. However, the success of Ridley Scott's 1979 Alien, a quintessential film in sci-fi horror history, helped revitalize the project, and following the success of his iconic 1978 slasher movie Halloween, Carpenter was officially on board. Carpenter spent a lot of time with the source material and the first film adaptation of it, 1951's The Thing from Another World. Things were set in motion for the film to begin production, and with about $1 million allocated to creature effects alone out of the $15 million total budget, it was the first time Carpenter would work on a big budget film for a studio of Universal stature. Kurt Russell, who starred in other Carpenter films Big Trouble and Escape from New York, was one of the first cast members to be involved, but was helping Carpenter develop ideas, and was ironically the last actor actually cast in the film. Christopher Walken and Jeff Bridges, who you may know from that Fatboy Slim music video or that terrible 1976 King Kong movie respectively, were among other candidates for the role of MacReady. It was a wise decision, however, because although the other actors could have offered something interesting to the table, Russell's performance lives on as one of the best in the genre. Russell plays the character with a lot of nuance and is great in the role. He's a truly iconic character, especially in 1980s sci-fi horror films as a protagonist. To me, in my opinion anyway, he's right up there with the likes of Ellen Ripley from Alien, or even Roddy Piper as Nada in another John Carpenter film, They Live. This film is also extremely well known for a few different things, besides Russell and Carpenter, since it features some of the best practical effects work put to film and an ambiguous ending that's equal parts haunting and intriguing, as it really makes you think. The unknown is what's truly scary, and The Thing plays with this so well, as we never know who the Thing really is throughout the film, being that the Thing is some sort of parasitic organism that essentially imitates its host after assimilating with it. Personally, I absolutely love this film. I think it does feature the best practical effects ever in a movie from what I've personally seen, and it's pulled off way better than the 2011 prequel of the same name, which features some pretty awful looking CGI. The creativity of the Thing in its many forms is so unique and memorable. The atmosphere, score, and writing are top notch. The entire cast is solid, and Keith David particularly delivers an incredible performance opposite Russell's as Childs. It was panned at first by critics, and failed to impress audiences with about a $19 million total after its theatrical run. But that could be due to everybody being pissed off or something about the ongoing economic recession in 1982, one of the worst in modern US history. This possibly led to moviegoers opting for a less pessimistic representation of alien encounters during that time. Nowadays, it's recognized as a quintessential piece of sci-fi horror cinema. And in my opinion, rightfully so. I mean, stuff like the defibrillator scene, the dog spaghetti monster, whatever, just all around such a fantastic film. I really enjoy this one. It's one of my all-time favorite sci-fi / horror movies. Just movies in general. This one is so good in my opinion. Just that atmosphere of being pretty much isolated from the entire world on that, icy terrain. It's pretty chilling stuff, no pun intended. And everyone does such an amazing job with the performances. The characters are actually smart for a horror movie. I don't know. I think this one is just iconic. The blood sample scene, this stuff is just classic, man. You can't even deny it. And with this figure, it's pretty. I think they did a pretty good job doing stuff, figures and stuff, man. It's pretty cool. Speaking of, on March 17th, 2021, which happened to be Kurt Russell's 70th birthday, NECA, or the National Entertainment and Collectibles Association, teased their very first action figure based on the 1982 classic. It would be, of course, an RJ MacReady figure, and it would get NECA's ultimate treatment. A special open flap window box packaging featuring the iconic poster art, a fully articulated figure sporting Russell's likeness, and many accessories to recreate movie scenes. This got fans of the film and the toy company alike very excited, and in July it was released as a Target exclusive and has since become a wide release. So, how did NECA do with their first ever Thing figure? It's no small task, seeing as the legacy of the film and character are beloved and heavily respected to this day. But this isn't anything new for NECA, seeing as they've tackled everything from Friday the 13th to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Godzilla, Kong, and more, which we'll cover eventually. As per usual, NECA nailed it. From the head that looks spot on to Russell, capturing his paranoia, his frustration with his circumstances, and his stern determination to survive. Only thing I could have asked for is a cold face with a frost white painted on his beard. The colors, the different finishes and textures to indicate what were different kinds of clothing materials, this thing is phenomenal. The accessories are also nothing to scoff at. As of this video, a new version was announced and we'll be getting the blood test petri dish and flamethrower in a separate release. So for now, we have a shotgun, hat, glasses, goggles, 3 heads, 6 hands, a shot glass, a whiskey bottle, and a lantern, all straight out of the film. NECA always tends to give you accessories that accurately represent standout moments from the figure's source material, and they're all done so well. I mean, this little whiskey bottle and glass, I mean, come on, this is awesome. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy's articulation. So, first off, the head is pretty good here, actually. Let me go ahead and get that going here. Yeah, let me get this focus set up. Alright, cool. So the head is really movable. If you pop this off, it is on a double ball peg, which is really good. It's better than just your typical ball hinge or just a single ball peg. It allows for a lot of great movement for the head, so you can get it in some really nice looking, natural looking poses. Can look up this far, and the hair does not inhibit any articulation because of the way they sculpted it, which is extremely smart on NECA's end. Looks down a fair bit as well. Looks side to side. Popped it off on accident. The collar doesn't get in the way too much, but a little bit. You do have some limitation, but it's definitely not bad for the setup. And the other alternate heads are pretty close in range, but they might fare a little bit better. Let's just go ahead and pop that on, and you have like the angry head, and this is not popped down there too good. There we go. So it does move down, basically the same. Moves up, close to the same, maybe a little more. It's about the same. Yeah, it's about the same range. So we'll keep this head on for the rest of the review. So the shoulder moves out that much, which is really good, and also spins around slightly, maybe not inhibited, but it will rub up against the jacket here. So you just want to be mindful of that. Single jointed elbow here, but it does allow for a little better than 90 degrees actually, so that's good. And it also has a swivel, so it acts as your bicep swivel essentially. You also have your standard wrist hinge and peg, which works as you'd expect. Let's see here, the I guess the torso here
is a little limited. It only moves forward about that much. This is it, pretty much standard, and it moves back a little bit. I don't know exactly what type of joints are in here, but it can pivot side to side. Whoa, I popped the leg out. At least there, most of this stuff is ball jointed, so that's really good. That just pops right back into place. So yeah, it's all right, but at the same time, I mean, RJ MacReady's not really going to be doing backflips or anything, or any crazy, you know, the torso doesn't need to be, you know, going in every direction. I mean, he's not Spider-Man at the end of the day, so, I mean, it does make sense. And that's one thing that NECA does kind of do well, is if there's limits in the articulation, it's kind of accurate, because, like, let's say with these pants, let's go to the leg kicking out this much. Kicks out a fair bit, but you do start to see some stress marks in the rubber material, so it makes sense. I mean, if you know, he's in these pants, he's probably not going to be kicking like, you know, like
this guy.
But still a fair bit. So, and he does do the splits pretty well. If you force it, yeah, you get a pretty fair amount of movement here. So, and you get a thigh swivel in there as well. So overall, really good leg articulation for what it is, but it's good stuff. Good stuff. We also get a single jointed knee, and that also swivels, so that's not bad. We also get a boot cut rotation. The ankles move up about this much, move down about that much, and it does have some ankle pivot. So overall, pretty movable figure here. It's not super articulated, like it's not like it's nothing too crazy, but you can still get him in some fairly decent poses here. I mean, nothing crazy here, but actually overall really solid articulation in my opinion.
Overall, I absolutely love this piece. I think it perfectly captures the character in every way. It's super photogenic. I love taking pictures with this thing. It's a lot of fun. Just being able to capture the essence of the character through the accessories and the stunning likeness to Kurt Russell. It's just awesome. This is such a good package for pretty much $30 retail price, and now it's supposed to be widely available now, so it should be easier to get your hands on it if you're a fan of sci-fi, horror, 80s films, The Thing itself, Kurt Russell, NECA, anything. I definitely recommend this piece. It's awesome. He comes with a lot of good stuff. It's a great figure, and it perfectly captures the film. I think it is a perfect homage to a film that will soon be turning 40 years old and still lives on to this day. And that about does it on my thoughts of The Thing and NECA'S MacReady Ultimate Action Figure. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is a brand new series that I'm doing. I have no idea how this is gonna do. I hope you guys like it, because I really want to put some work into this series. I think it's a good idea for my channel, just to be able to talk about more things aside from figures. I still love figures, obviously, but just being able to do something different with the channel, just slightly different, is really cool, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.
Bruh.